Hello, hello. Welcome to the Keptn Community meeting. So today is October 12th, and we have actually quite a long agenda on the list today. So thanks to everyone who joined. Okay. Unless there are some urgent topics, I just want to go through the agenda and let's see whether we reach the end today, but I hope so. So first of all, quick update. So for America's meetings, so Thursday 4 p.m. UTC. For now, I will be opposing them because there is not that much participation. This time is not very convenient to me, and unless there is a demand to have this meeting, they will be. Well, I removed them from calendar on Bevy. I will remove them from Keptn Community calendar. If you want this meeting to happen, just shout. So developer meetings remain in place, but not America's community meeting for now. Okay. The next item, which is quite quick. So for Keptn Community Day, we have a whole agenda published. So again, so what we discussed in the community meeting last time, in addition to the community day, we will have a kind of public workshop later, maybe in the beginning of November, most likely in the beginning of in November, to just discuss future of Keptn, to brainstorm for lifecycle controller and other bits. So community day is in-person event. There will be no broadcast. There is no budget for that this year. So basically, we will probably ask participants to do a re-recording, but for now it's fully on site. And there is a bunch of topics, so thanks to everyone who is presenting. And yeah, so some important topics for this meeting. So yeah, Andy, Brett, and Anna will be speaking about the use cases for Keptn. Then Mike will talk about the documentation and where it's going. And then the focus would be on what's next for Keptn. So of course, Keptn Lifecycle Controller is on the list. Also some other developments and discussions we have. So if you want to share your vision for where Keptn should be going, there are basically two big opportunities. So first, just drop everything in the chat. So I will ask Alois to include comment and maybe incorporate feedback from others how it should go. And another opportunity is we have maintainers track talk. So we have four presenters: Thomas, Brett, Andy, and Anna. And yeah, again, it will be mostly focused on Keptn evolution and where it should go. So again, it's another opportunity. If you want to share your feedback, your vision, you can just do that. Okay, so one quick item for those who go to the event, please RSVP here because we need to understand how many people would be joining the event. This year, there are so many events happening in parallel, so I literally have no idea how many people we could get. 10 or 70, well, 70 is the limit for the room, but yeah, it would be nice. And also, spoiler alert, there is a Cube Cruise. This is basically a joint sponsored event open for those who participate in the cloud native community. Dynatrace is one of the sponsors, and yeah, basically all Keptn project members are also invited to participate. So just make sure to register before it runs out of tickets. And if you go there, make sure to put a Keptn flag somewhere. I'm pretty sure that others like GitLab will enjoy that. Okay. Yeah. So another quick update is that in Keptn Lifecycle Controller, so basically what Suresh was asking at the previous meeting. So there is a bunch of work happening to make the project available for the evaluation. There is a bunch of updates. I guess Giovanni and Thomas could speak about it, but one of key highlights is that Now there are tutorials, etc., being merged. So there was already a release for 0.1 with basic functionality, and 0.2 is focused on observability and traceability, basically on showing what happens inside the system, and there is also a tutorial for that pending. So if you want to try it out, it's a good opportunity. So Thomas, Giovanni, would you like to add something? For? Oh.
Nothing much. I think you already summarized everything perfectly fine. Only one thing, request to the community, please try that out and let us know if something is not clear. We should elaborate more just to get more feedback so we can propose better tutorial for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And make it also easier to the whole installation process, maybe because you discover that it's a bit cumbersome. Let us know so we can really make it better for you to install, use, and contribute afterwards to the project back. And one spoiler, we will do another release as soon as all the small pieces and pieces for the observability are put in place. And this should occur around this week. So expect 0.2 either end of the day if everything works fine, or worst case Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Flo, Thomas.
Yes, so and if some of you want to contribute and find out that it might be a bit cumbersome to set up a development environment and so on, which should hopefully not be the case, then please also reach out to us. We're trying to make your experience as easy as possible. And if you need help setting this up, just feel free to reach out to one of us on the Keptn Slack channel. And we will try to find out what's the problem and how we could make this better to make the experience for all of us the best.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, like, do you have a proposal out for the structure of the documentation too?
Okay.
Or should I shut up?
Yeah, so no, it's totally relevant. So for that, yeah, there is a lifecycle controller. There is also GitHub discussions being used. And basically, as I said at the previous meeting, I will be spending some time improving documentation and actually putting some sync beats. We have a lot of content in slide decks, and I would like to initialize the documentation structure. So it's ready for feedback. Thanks to Mac and Thomas for reviewing. And yeah, I would appreciate another round of reviews before I start submitting pull requests. And basically, this is an expanded version, and you should be able to comment here if you have some ideas. So I need to do some updates based on conversation with Thomas. So, for example, splitting out architecture maybe to a separate folder for now. But yeah, overall, this document is ready for review. And maybe one question to contributors. So, do you plan to use Wiki for now, or just documentation? Because Wiki is enabled for the service. There is also some items like release checklist here. So I wonder whether you want to use Wiki or whether it should be just put into the documentation and I should disable Wiki.
In general, I think we should have the documentation in the repository, but as the release checklist, for instance, is a very living documentation and should be, we should have it in the wiki, because there you could simply add some things without creating a pull request and so on. But that's only my opinion. So.
I also prefer keeping the documentation next to the code.
So one thing I can do, I can take it, put it to the developer guide, And maybe I could create an issue template out of that. So for example, for new release, we create an issue. It would include this template. And then we can also leverage a new feature we enabled for subtasks so that you can easily create subtasks from this template should it be needed. Or just click a checkbox. Would it work for you?
I think it would make sense as an issue template, for instance.
Yeah.
Because in this way we could also change it very easily, and could mark the things we have there before releasing.
So yeah, maybe I will do the same for Keptn, because there we also have wiki pages, and maybe for the team it would be convenient, especially when we talk about LCS, which has more steps, for example, for services also, to have it as issue templates. Yeah, then I will take care of it. Moving on, or are there any other topics for lifecycle controller? Then I guess we discussed the Prometheus service, right?